Welcome back to another episode of The Clean Truth. I am Dawson Holt.
I am Ben Jones, and tonight we have a very special guest, Miss Averi Presley, joining us.
Hello, hello, hello.
How are we feeling tonight, Averi?
Feeling pretty good. Just excited to chat and to have some awesome conversations.
As always. So we're excited to have you on tonight. We're going to be talking about a lot of the recent success that you've seen moving up into the adult division, which we'll get into in a quick second. Then some other cool topics, training with a family of basically legends when it comes to the sport at this point. So we'll jump right in kind of talking about like the recent success that you've seen. So Ocean State Grand Nationals near the beginning of April, we had some big win, right? The first adult overall for you. So that was awesome. You fast forward about 2 weeks and now we've gotten double grands at the Quebec Open. So coming out hot, pretty up in this first quarter of the year, getting some big wins in. How's that feeling?
I'm just super thankful, super blessed to even have gotten on stage. It's awesome competition. I've been sharing the mat with some incredible people. So, and at Quebec, I haven't been on that stage since I was like in 13 and under. So that was like a big goal and something that I've been super excited to finally be able to get back on that stage. So it's been awesome.
That's cool. That's actually crazy. It's been that long. I feel like, we would just kind of assume that you've been on stage every year or something like that. But yeah, so that's cool. So, I mean, first time at the Quebec Open as an adult, back on stage in quite some years, and we're on stage winning double grands. So we've got the Forms Grand, CMX, and the Weapons CMX Grand too. So the fact that it's not just, we're squeaking some wins in there, but we're taking double grands, so two different divisions. So the consistency there is impressive because we go from one tournament right to the next, maintaining that weapons overall. So back to back on the weapons overalls, and then coming into the Forms overall too, taking that one. So I mean, that shows some pretty good expansion of the tool belt there, that we're able to do more than just one division and really take those wins. So how important do you feel like it is to take not just the the weapons division as well, but now we're adding in the Forms all on the same night? How much significance does that hold to you?
It's really important to me. I've been training really hard on like flips and stuff. I've dealt with some injuries. So like the fact that I've been able to like push through that and like get those results still has been like really incredible to me. I'm very proud of myself for that. Just being able to push through all the challenges and still get the results that you want. Obviously there's some stuff like personal stuff that like in the divisions, I want some better results with just like consistency and stuff. But overall, I'm just super happy.
Awesome. Very cool.
Well, so that's awesome to hear. And it's crazy that, I mean, you've been at the Quebec Open before. I haven't really been at that tournament that long. I just started going just a couple years ago. So, I mean, so from transitioning from juniors to adults, like, what were some of the challenges that you had to go through to get to the point where you were at?
Well, what's really challenging but also really exciting is that all of the dominant 17 and under people are now going as the dominant women. So that really makes the division very stacked. There's so many different strengths, so many different dynamics to that. So I've really had to push really hard to like do the extra training, make sure my strength and conditioning are getting better every day. So having to kind of push a little harder for that because everyone is different. So like I've grown up with almost the same people. So like we've kind of grown together. So now going against a different group really changes the feeling and like the way that you have to train.
That's interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, that's good. Wow. Yeah, it's still crazy to me. I know you've heard it so many times, is seeing you and Pia now up there as adults. So, I mean, you guys have been killing it. Yeah, you, Pia, Alice is up there killing it. She's doing that and cheer too, and she's killing it
Yeah.
in cheerleading as well. So yeah, it's really cool to see you guys. I mean, doing really good and seeing you guys get better every tournament since you've been an adult. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to see how you guys look for the rest of the year and then the next. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. It is kind of crazy, especially being in like the position we're in. We've been teammates for like basically 10 years now.
Yep.
So the fact that, we used to compete against each other at Promac events in 13 and under. And now you're out here competing in the adult division makes me feel old. And I'm only like,
Yeah.
a few years into the adult division.
There's a video that was posted that you were in the back of that.
Yeah.
It was so awesome to see.
Yeah, it was like Memphis, maybe like 2017 or something. And so, yeah,
Babies.
that's wild.
Babies.
Yeah. How old were you in 2017? 9 years ago?
Yeah. That's a baby. Yeah.
No, not even. Like
No.
9.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like my age real quick. Oh, man. Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's so cool to see. And I like to see that video again, too, because it's like, almost 10 years later, and we're still there for you, back of the ring, supporting. And it's cool to know that we've been able to keep that connection for such a long time, and then to transition that from Team Competitive Edge onto Team Paul Mitchell
Yeah.
so as well. So just to keep that going has been such a blessing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. And then something that's really unique about you is you are very much like solid on your own, right? But you're also a part of this family of absolute legends within the sport, right? So we have obviously you being the youngest, and we've got Jake Presley, we've got Cole Presley, Reed Presley. And so, I mean, that's for main names within the sport, world champ, all each individually on your own, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's big time, right? And so what was maybe the training dynamic, or like building forms, building combinations, kind of just the camaraderie and the training as a family growing up?
Yeah. Well, everyone always thinks that like I have my brothers to help all the time, but it's not always that easy. They have different schedules, different things they have to do. Jake's always somewhere filming something. But like Cole's definitely to help more with like the creative and the combos and stuff. Jake's obviously the performance and the speed. And then Reed always helps with like coming up with it all, just like how it fits together. So like the layout of it more. But what's cool about Reed getting back into like competing and stuff, that we've been training more together. So that's been really cool. And because that always turns into like a competition of like who's faster, who can do this. So that's the one really awesome part about, I guess, now being older and training with each other instead of it just being like one-on-one and Jake's not putting me in the corner and telling me not to stop talking, because that's happened a few times. But yeah.
Jake.
Yeah. I mean, I've that's an interesting point there, because I mean I've seen it like in person, and I was really interested to see how you were going to answer that, because I've seen it, like I said, and from the outside, and I've worked with all of them myself, so they all have different, like you said, they're all on different schedules, but they also have different. They're all a little different in their own way,
Different
which
things
is
to
a good.
offer.
Yeah, and it's a good thing too, and ultimately, like, the more numbers, it just gives you such a good amount of resources for you to have, and really to help put it all together yourself too now. So now, being an adult, I mean, now you have that responsibility to have fun being you, right? So, and yeah, and I definitely think that, your brothers are supportive too, and yeah, it's really cool to see it happen too, and especially training with each other too. That's another thing that was I wanted to bring up, was recently with when Warrior Cup was coming up. We were all finding time to train together a lot more recently, and it was so cool. I just hopefully that happens again. I know it's a little tough right now due to Reed having dealing with an injury and trying to recover from that, but knowing him, I mean, he'll be back in no time, and
Be back at it. Mm-hmm.
it absolutely, like, he is much more smarter, much more disciplined now. Not saying that he wasn't ever disciplined when he was younger, but now that he's older, right, he's got a lot more gas in the tank now, which is awesome. So, well, that brings me to a question of competing in the adult division. Like, I mean, I felt it. I felt this, but like, what kind of did you feel any sort of pressure transitioning from juniors to adults? Like, if so, like, how did you deal with it? Was it internal? Was it external? Like, go ahead, like, what
I
happened?
definitely felt a lot of pressure from a lot of people around me, but also like just putting it on myself. Like I felt like a lot of people on the outside were like, is she going to take a win? How long is it going to take? Is this like the end of her winning? Is this like, so there's a lot of pressure from the outside, but like most of it I felt was internal, because I wanted to prove to myself that I belonged at that level. Of course, there's the outside pressure, but like the people on the outside, they know my name, they want me to do certain things, but a lot of it just comes down to like all the pressure I put on myself and all the expectations that I have. So that was the main thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's natural too. Like, even if it's not like a ton of internal pressure, it's just like a little bit of a questioning. Maybe not doubt, but it's like I remember this when we moved up, and I had basically just gotten on Paul Mitchell, kind of finished out like that last half of the season, and then moved up to adults, and so I was like, man, was this the right move, like to get me on the team when I haven't, moved up to the adult division and proven myself there yet. So there was that question that kind of like lingered in the back of my head a little bit. But then I remembered, like, all of the training, all the hours of training that has been put in before that. Like, I got picked up on the team for a reason, and like just going to keep moving forward. But I think it's natural to have that question, especially when you've had so much success early on. And so I could imagine, like, for you, basically won like everything as a junior, and so it's like probably everything double grands as a junior too. So then moving up, it's like, okay, am I still going to be able to do that at really the highest level? And I've heard some people kind of break it down as like the junior division is like college football and the adult division is like the NFL, and so it is like a gap. There's a little bit more on the line, like money involved now too. Life kind of just carries on and makes things a little more difficult in ways as you grow up. So yeah, I could see that that's kind of a different little internal questioning, but maybe it's not a whole lot of doubt or pressure. But I would love to go kind of into part 2 of that question too, which would be, there's all that internal pressure. You're like, can I still do it? Am I still going to make it happen? But now you've done it now, right? So we've had our first adult overall and we've had our first double grands overall at a tournament. Does that kind of like give you a little bit of an ease in the back of your mind to be like, okay, I know I can still do this. Let's just keep going.
Yeah, well, there's definitely relief that I finally got the results that I wanted, but like I want to keep those results throughout the year. So in a way, I don't feel like I'm done. Like I don't feel like, okay, I'm there now. It's going to continue just on its own. It's like I have to work harder and harder and add more. It's people are after me, I'm after them. It's just like it's kind of crazy. Like everyone's going head to head. There's higher stakes, so it's definitely feels good, but now I almost feel like I have to push even harder to keep that up.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you don't want to get too content and then like fall off.
But that's the fun of it, like moving up though, because I do feel like there's that pressure that I've been wanting a little bit more of, so it kind of makes it more exciting. So
I mean, on the positive side, it's like you could either choose to let it get to you or you can choose to grow and evolve, right? And I think I look back and appreciate it so much because, yeah, I think that goes for all of us when we first got on the team. Like we were good, but we weren't like the top tier. It was a different time, so we just it's really insane um how much we really grew in such a short span of like just a couple years too. So little side question. I've actually never asked you this, but never out of all the tournaments, like what are some of your favorites to compete at? Like, well, I guess we'll just say overalls, like overall grands, night shows, or just like regular time or venues. Like, what are some of your
yeah.
favorites?
Obviously, one of my favorite venues is the Disney. Like,
Yeah.
we have a bunch of stuff to do. There's the pool, like the stuff to do outside of the tournament. But that's also like one of the hardest for me in the past. I know I'm an adult this year, so it might be a little bit different with like what divisions they throw at you the night on Friday. But that one's probably the hardest in the past. That I really like competing on like Warrior Cup stage or the US Open stage, kind of like the big ones that like everybody kind of agrees on.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, coming out of Quebec, that one feels. I always get so hyped right after it, and like being in it.
Yeah.
It's like such a cool. I mean, just the production of it, like just the whole look of the arena too, like the surrounding seats, and then the huge stage right in the middle of the walkout too, the big screen. So like that one always gets to me because I'm like,
Yes.
And then you always have battle because like that kind of brings together everybody. Like I feel like that's like one tournament that everyone goes to, so that one's always fun. And then that same with diamonds, like that kind of brings everyone together more too. So that's like more on the outside of the competition part. So
Yeah, exactly. And I think this
Mhm.
is kind of a good point that kind of ties into what we're talking about. Like when it comes to, moving up and having that extra challenge to try and, maintain the success, right? And then I love, like we're talking about here, some of our favorite tournaments are some of the hardest, right? Like the first
yeah,
one you mentioned is also the one that's the hardest to win. And then you said like battle and diamonds, those hold a lot of weight because everybody's going to be there. And so you've got to bring it for those. Um, and it's easy to get like kind of content or just kind of like not really overthink these tournaments too much once we've done them so many times. But I think it's cool to realize like we're in a position that a ton of people are like actively fighting to get to. Like there would be people who probably would just like give everything just to compete on any of these stages. You know what I mean? And like we are hitting these stages consistently. And it's a result of, the hours that we've put into it too. But sometimes I feel like it's so easy to take it for granted and just be like, here we go again, because it's the same tournament that we've done for so many years. But I think like taking the advantage of just soaking in the moment, I think is so huge because like these stages are such a cool platform to compete on, and it's easy to
Mhm.
say like, oh, we want more eyes on the sport, or we want to be televised and things like that. But at the same time, like it's a pretty cool situation that we're in to be able to compete on all these different stages too.
Yeah.
Um, and like I was talking about, we've done these same tournaments for so long, and it's just like, here we go again, right? I feel like that's kind of how it starts to feel in some ways, or could feel this way when you've just been in something for so long. Like, how long have we been doing martial arts in general? Like, I've been doing it for 16 years. How long for you?
forever,
Yeah.
forever, as long as I can remember, honestly.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like a young lifetime that we've already been doing this for. And so when you've done one thing for so long, it's like it's tough to figure out how to stay motivated and like keep pushing to be successful, especially when you've already had that success. Like I was saying, it almost gets to the point where you downplay it because it's just another here we go again type of thing, right? So what are some things that like you personally do to either stay motivated or keep striving to win or keep that success going?
Well, coming from juniors and like being in juniors for so long, like one thing that I kept was like, once I get to adults, I'll have a little more motivation because there's higher stakes, new competition that I've never competed against. So that was like the main thing. But like now that I'm here, there's also money, which
Mhm.
is always a plus. But just the fact that I get to compete against different people, like I said earlier, with the different styles, it kind of throws more at you because you
Yeah.
have to. This person has the strength, this person has the speed, this person has the flips. It's like trying to, in training, figure out how to combine that and create something different has been fun and also challenging. And it's just really exciting to try to figure out. That's kind of what's been motivating me recently, especially like coming off wins. It's almost motivating me more because I want to keep it up. Like I'm hungry for it more now.
Of
So
course.
yeah.
Mhm.
I think I want to hear Dawson's answer too, because I mean, at this point, all three of us have done this for. So, what do
Man,
you
we'll
think?
keep.
We got Avery's perspective, and she's in
Mhm.
a good season of life where she can
Yeah.
make that move up and then really strive to
Mhm.
maintain the success that we've had. What are your thoughts on that?
Motivation, dude. That's a very good question. I remember, good topic. I've had some um coming up for this whole season and trying to think like if I can do it again next year, I will if I can. And most likely I will. But what's motivating me, man, like there's so much in terms of we said it before, like winning and losing is great, but I mean, impact, that's what's going to keep the sport alive. So
Mm.
just like any little interaction can have, it could just be the smallest conversation with a kid or adult that brings me more joy now, more now than ever. Um, like at the Paul Mitchell experience that we do at the US Open, when we do a seminar, I had a really good interaction with some people that showed up and did the camp with they did swords. They showed up for the sword session. They were from Great Britain and just not really being in the sport karate scene. They only have been exposed to it through YouTube. So and they took all the advice that I was able to give them, and they were able to apply it. And one of them got a first in their divisions, and one of their family members, um, I'm not going to go too specific, but had a little has a disease, and for them to be able to him them and his whole family being able to witness him get a first place, um, brought so much joy to the family, and they approached me as I was like just sitting on the chairs, tired, after a long Friday night, and I'm sitting there thinking, "Oh my gosh, like I'm probably gonna have to do an overall grands tonight, and I got to figure out I got to figure out what I have to eat right now." Like I wasn't even thinking about anything else, but just like I got to compete, I got to do this. But then that family came up to me afterwards and like told me the news, and excuse me, they thanked me after that. It's like, thank you so much for, you know, being able to be a part of the seminar and just show inspiration. And that just like, oh my gosh, like that kind of had me choked up a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. But so yeah, dude, just being able to help keep the sport alive by just inspiring that next generation of athletes. And that's what keeps me going right now. And there's still, for myself, I feel like I still have more to prove. I still want to keep pushing myself and pushing the limits of what I can do with the sword in my hand. Um, open hand forms. Still trying to think of new ways to, you know, kick, trick, different ways to think of, punch combinations and all that stuff. So it's still fun to come up. The creative side is still fun for me, still engaging. So that too, teaching as well. I enjoy teaching, um, which I know I just said it earlier, but yeah, I still love all that. So winning and losing, it's one thing. It's great for goal setting, all that good stuff, and traveling. I mean, get to travel often, so not being stuck at home. So it's a good hustle. So yeah.
Word. I like it.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of like you were saying is, we're in a position where it's like we gotta kind of work on that next generation because, like you're saying, it's like, yeah, we could probably do this for a couple more years, but then it's like, what happens after that? Because I mean, either careers take off or people get into school, and that kind of gets in the way sometimes of the competing scene and things like that. And so, like, especially, I think we've talked about this a ton, is like we're realizing that we really need to like soak this in because you don't know how much longer it's going to last, which, ultimately you can break that down in terms of life in general. You don't know you're going to wake up tomorrow. So it's like you got to soak in every day that you have, man, and just realize the blessings that you've been given. So I think that's been one of my biggest motivations recently too, is like, who knows how much longer you'll compete. But if while you compete, you can inspire a kid who's going to compete for 10 more years so that they can do the same thing as us in the position we're in for the next generation after them, like that's really, like you said, going to push the sport forward. And I think that's most important for, what we're
Hmm.
where we're at right now. Like you said, there's still things I want to win. There's still, ways I can continue to prove myself as a top competitor, but it's not going to have an impact on somebody as like a human being and a personal reaction as much.
Something
Hmm.
that's been kind of crazy for me is that I was the younger generation.
Yeah.
Now I'm the older generation. So like it's cool to see more how I'm inspiring others, which has been really cool. Cause like I
Hmm.
always have, but it's been like as I get older, it's more and more because I'm getting to the higher divisions and stuff like that. So that has been incredible to see. And US Open is a
Hmm.
good example of that because of the
Yeah.
Palmerston seminars and everything. So yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I feel like that took a jump when we moved up too. Like when we went into the adult division, I don't know what it is. It's just you're more visible, you're seen more.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, being on stages
Hmm.
on normal divisions, things like that, it's just kind of elevated. Everybody pays attention to the adults, and so I feel like you really realize the impact once you move up, and you're like, oh wow, there's all these kids below us that are now, that junior division. It's like, wow, we're making an impact on them. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So.
Hmm. Yeah. Other like random rapid fire questions. Um, is there a possibility that you may, now that you're an adult, if you have some free, if you ever feel motivated, would you ever consider doing a different division. Korean forms.
That's something I've always wanted to do, but it's been one of those things that like I've done so many divisions and it's already so hard to get through that it's like mentally and physically just hard to want to add that and put myself through that. But it would be something I'd want to do eventually. But as of right now, I'm finally like trying to keep my body healthy as well since I've dealt with injuries. So I'm going to get what I have down now and then we'll see what the future holds with that.
Okay. So keep it on our toes,
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
What about Dawson? What about you with the Korean forms, huh?
Korean forms right now, it's kind of the same answer as her. It's hard to be able to like do all the CMX divisions the night before, so my body is pretty exhausted. So it's like I can put all my energy in just doing one division the next morning and then chill for a little bit until I have to do the night show, unless we have to run off or do an overall, which knock on wood hasn't been the case. It hasn't happened yet, but I don't know. Whenever I would definitely love to get back into some Korean forms, hit up some Jujang, maybe Gay Beck. We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna have to hit up Jason Warren to give me give me a lesson or two.
Why
Teach
don't
me his
y'all do
ways.
sync Korean forms?
That's not a bad idea. Well, they're usually doing CMX and trad syncs like at the same time, and I already weapons and open hand CMX. That'll be a third sync.
Yeah, Ben, you already do it a lot. Well, Avery, I guess we'll just have to do it together then. I guess we'll just have to let's do a pretty solid let's do Jujang. Let's just do it. Shout out Ben Jones for Jujang. Let's hit a sync flying side kick.
There we go.
Hit into double knife hand block. Yeah.
Chung Mu or Junjang?
Oh, I said flying side kick. I meant to say Chung Mu.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Did I say Jujang on accident? My apologies. Yeah. My apologies. So
you don't know Chung Mu?
Yeah.
At some point. I
Yeah,
need to refresh my memory on that. But at some point, yeah.
Hey, I got you.
I know
lessons, so I can just hit me up.
All right, we'll see.
Yeah. I don't know. There was Paul Mitchell account on Instagram posted a video of me at like a clip of me at competes. I snagged Ben's bow and just like started moving it around, and then all of a sudden like I turn around and I see a phone on me. I'm like, the heck, I can't do anything. Like and it got out there and then it ended up on the Paul Mitchell account, and I think it said something like if it gets 1,000 comments that I'd do it. And the answer is no, probably not. Yeah, there's
Can we check where the comments are at on that and just kind of see what we think?
I don't know. It was back in February, so
I want to see both of y'all do more forms, like CMX forms.
Yeah, extreme is hard. I really I like my knees the way they are, and because it really does take a toll. But I haven't found any. I don't know. That'd be cool to just come down to Columbus. So, there we go.
Yes!
There we go.
Do we make a trip? Do we make a trip?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, right. Swords.
Dude, I grew up before Promac. I was competing on like the little local Georgia circuit too. And one of the tournaments was like actually at Master Juan's school. It was really cool. That was like kind of where I got introduced to NASCA. I mean, I knew a little bit about the sport karate scene, but like very little. And then I saw actually it was a NASCA division, and Duncan Lowry was competing there, and we saw that.
Really?
Like, my first like exposure to sport karate, and then we ended up being teammates.
Wow, Duncan. Yeah, I saw Duncan in Atlanta, and we just like I had a small interaction. I was like, oh my god, I hadn't seen that dude in years. And he's back teaching, training as well. He's looking good. So just by the way, I know the Wands has made a comment. So I noticed, shout out to Allison Wan. She's been killing it in the divisions and the runoffs. I've seen her with her kicks and her bow. She's doing awesome. So
she's absolutely insane. She is. She's motivated to keep going. She's strong. She's she's someone to look out for. She really is.
Oh yeah.
Dangerous.
Yes.
I'll see her tomorrow. We're gonna do our little lesson tomorrow, so I'm excited to see what she's been working on.
Okay. So
And whether okay.
yeah. So okay, that's cool to hear that you're also teaching. I didn't know if you were. I was going to ask if you were teaching at all or doing lessons with anyone in NASCA.
Yes,
Starting
I've
to
done a
okay.
few NASCAR lessons. I'm starting some online lessons with them, but I've been teaching a lot more in like the dojo. There's been a lot of people that's wanting to do a lot of like stuff like that, but a good mix
Mhm.
of both. Good
Yeah.
mix,
That's good.
especially
That's cool.
trying to help Reed Nicole more with getting into equipped a little bit too.
Yeah, it's
That's
cool.
good.
So
Yeah, that's
That's
awesome. I
good.
love that because, like, I was teaching at Infinity, and it was very much like, those kids there, they would want, to just work on whatever, whether it's, things for fun or like tricks, and they want to learn some new stuff, or they're like hardcore training for NASCA. And so it's cool to have the balance of it all too, because I would have like online students training with who are like, focused on NASCA competition. And then I also have like weekly lessons too with kids who just like want to get better at something, want to have some fun, or like even kind of curriculum stuff. And it's nice to have that little switch up. So I'm glad that you're doing
and
that.
I love teaching the 3 and 4-year-olds. That's my favorite class
Yes.
ever. Might be the hardest class to teach, but it's definitely the cutest and the most fun.
Yeah, for sure.
That is so
And testing.
so true. Yeah.
I love peaches.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, that is so true. Oh, there's you've been to the school, Ben, so Avery knows this. Whenever there's a train that flies by, it's
Yeah.
over. All the kids just turn their attention, yells out, "Mom, train!" And it's like it's hard. Like just we kind of just accepted it at that point. Once that goes by, then they're back to just locked in, and then we're good. It's like you just can't really do anything at that point. You just kind of have to let them look out for a few seconds, and we're back. But yeah, we've been having more fun switching it up for the 3 and 4-year-olds classes as well as our other classes is doing new drills. You know, the internet or Instagram social media has been a really great tool to use. I mean, obviously it has its pros and cons, but we've been using it as a great resource as just finding there's a bunch of drills that we've been just catching on and we've just kind of adopted it or starting to adopt it into our program since we're just decided. I was like, all right, we just need to switch up drills. So we doing cone drills, um tennis
Balloons.
ball drills, yeah, balloons, um ladder drills, and it's been fun. And most of the kids, they're not used to that stuff, so it's been pretty entertaining watching them trying to learn it. But it's been great. So
It's also
but
fun
yeah.
seeing kids that are like more shy and scared to go out there really come out of their shell, and they end up being like the most athletic and confident kid like in 2 weeks, which
Yeah.
that's also
Right.
cool.
Right. Especially like when the kids like become friends with each other, because there's always, if it's always a great thing to see whenever we've had kids in the past where they're just good at just talking to anyone.
Mhm.
And if that new kid or who is shy just or is like new to the class, he just moved up into the older kids class, is very shy, and then like becomes friends with that kid who's really good example, who shows great leadership qualities, just kind of rub off on the kid, and it just turns the kid into just a beast. And that's a really cool thing to see. And since I've been teaching classes at SMAC or PMA in Lebanon. So, but yeah, um,
Super cool.
what's so I heard Reed just recently had surgery, and that's everything turned out good. Good
Everything
to
is
hear.
good. He's in recovery. So
Yes.
he
Okay.
starts physical therapy on Monday. So that's kind of until Monday, it's kind of a little stressful. But
Yeah,
once he gets there, it'll be more of like, okay, you kind of got through the hard part, and now it's just starting to move again. So
that's good.
Yeah.
prayers
Okay.
to him, though. Prayers to him.
Of course,
Yeah.
always.
Yeah.
I have this, I don't know. I just knowing that he like has already been through a pretty bad injury in the past and obviously came out of that very successful, and knowing him now too, and like not once again, like Dawson said earlier, not that he wasn't mature before, but seeing the way that he's matured too, and just like grown in different ways, like I don't know, I'm just so confident that he's going to come back fast and just kill it again, and I'm so
Oh
excited,
yeah.
especially because I was talking to him at Ocean States and like he just seems so fired up, like
Mhm.
even from Chicago to Ocean States, he's like, man, I just feel so much better, like I feel ready to take the whole year on. And then like I had that conversation with him and then I watched this form and I was like,
No.
I know. But then like now, the more I've thought through it, I'm like, oh, he's gonna be fine. Like he's already kind of been in the situation before. He's gonna make it out. It's gonna be awesome. And it's cool too, because I heard, I was talking to Dawson, it's like, there's so much that he can do now, even though he's, physically kind of held back a little bit with the knee. But like his impact is still gonna be so great, even when he's a little bit physically, held back.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He'll be back at it. Sooner than later.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no doubt. No doubt he'll be. I mean, that's how double bow was created. So it'll be interesting to see what he does in his time of rebuilding himself back up. Um, so yeah, unless, yeah, I'm really excited to see
Yeah, man.
what he does next. So
For sure.
yeah, sorry.
Very good. I'm gonna test you a little bit, Avery, and give you a little challenge. So we
Oh
kind of
no.
briefly talked about this before we went live, but I'm gonna give you some time though. You got to come up with one question for me and for Dawson. We're gonna do a little reverse of the roles, and you're gonna
Okay.
be the reviewer. Okay, but we're gonna give you a little bit of time so you can think on that. You can, just ponder the thoughts a little bit. You know what I mean? But something that I wanted to point out too is I noticed the end of last year, kind of as the junior division kind of came to an end for you, you started throwing a lot more tricks too, like getting them doubles going,
Yes.
hitting that front,
Mhm.
all that good stuff. And so I love to see like that kind of start to evolve. And I'm curious on this because I felt this for myself. Did you feel like, okay, into the juniors, moving into adults, I want to ramp this up a little early to kind of test it out, feel how it's going to go, get the momentum, and carry it off into the adult division?
Yes.
Was that kind of the mindset?
Yes. I was like, it was at Diamonds. I was like, this is the time to do it. Cause I guess the final round, like the grand was already over for like your division was an extra. So I was like, obviously you want to win, you want to do good, but I'm like, this is the moment to test it. This is the time to see how this is going to flow, how this is going to look, help my confidence for Warrior Cup. And it definitely did. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I could tell, and I thought the Diamonds night show was so sick too because all the lighting situation was kind of
Oh,
unfortunate.
my bow was black. I couldn't see it at all. The blue like turned complete. I could not see it
It's a
at
different
all.
color.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think we talked about it. I don't know whoever we had on. Maybe it was just the two of us after Diamonds. We're like, man, Avery's a gangster for that form. Like to be able to not see bow at all, like just super dark red lights with a dark colored bow. Like people don't understand how much like you can't see that.
I had people coming up to me and go, "Why'd you use your trad bow on stage?" I was like, "I didn't. It was a blue bow."
Yeah. I'd like to point out while you were going, Ben was next to me asking, is like, I forget, like, is she using like a yellow bow? I said, no, it's blue. While the
Yeah.
light switch, or I don't know if he said yellow or he said a different color.
I
And
think
I
I
was like,
said red because
no,
the lights all red.
yeah, that's right. It was like, no, I know her bow. I've seen it. It's blue. And
I was
then the
like,
lights went back to normal. It's like,
it doesn't
see,
look blue.
told you.
And I
Yeah.
was dealing with a concussion at the time, so the lights were killing my head. So I was like
Oh
already
man.
like I was getting dizzy. So it was like, you know what? We're just gonna put it all on the mat and see what happens. And it ended up being good, but it was hard.
That's
Man.
what's up right there because a lot of people would like throw all those excuses out there. Oh, it's too much. And you just, no, I got a concussion. Don't worry about it. Lights are basically off. Don't worry about it. Got a dark colored bow. Can't see it at all. Don't worry about it. I got this.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Killed it. And I feel like
I
that
would,
happens way too much and people don't give you enough credit for that.
yeah, that's a pretty that's a wild moment to see. I would also like to point out the fact that she's throwing doubles now and throwing the bow low. There's a reason why she throws the bow low. It's because of her environment.
Exactly.
The karate school that we train at, the ceilings are really not that high at all. And if you walk in and look up, there's all sorts of marks from me,
I
all
probably,
of us, and I mean, I poked holes in the floor, but that's beside the point. But yeah, 'cause so that's incredible to see. I just find it very impressive to be able to spin how you're spinning at such a fast pace and throwing the bow low. It's very hard to do, and especially like what just happened at the diamonds. Colors just switched up on you out of nowhere. So
The low ceilings
yeah.
are a blessing and a curse
Yep.
because obviously helps you spin faster and it looks
Hmm.
cleaner when you do it that way, but
Hmm.
also you don't have a lot of room. You better go
Hmm.
faster. It's not going to go good. The first week,
Hmm.
I think Jake and I both broke a light. Just so
Yeah.
we got it all replaced. It did not last long, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's so true though. Like I used to train actually here down in this basement now that I'm back home, and like you can see that ceiling right there, and like this is where I train, and so like I attribute
Hmm.
a lot of my like low tosses, fast spins to training in here for years. It's like I mean a product of your environment. You adapt to what you have to adapt to and make it work. And so
Hmm.
like you same exact situation, but it translates so well when you're on these big stages because you're already elevated on a platform. So if you're elevated and you throw it super high, it looks even higher. And
Yeah.
so the fact that you're elevated and we can keep it just right here, and then it still all comes together really nicely. Because like if your bow's up here and you're spinning down here, and I have to stop looking at you spinning to look at your bow, and I can't see you at all, that's probably too much, right? But
Yeah.
if I can see your bow spinning here and your body spinning here at the same time, like that just has such a cool look.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's so
Hmm.
clean too. But
That's
yeah,
also kind of why I started going more like box cutter variations, is
right.
because I can throw a little higher, and since it's flat, it can get closer to the ceiling.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Hmm.
like every moment that I get to go to like an open gym or something, I do work on more variations of stuff that I can't do in the dojo,
Yeah.
which does make it hard because like I'm trying to going outside, trying to do the stuff that I am hitting the ceiling over again. Because if I'm hitting the ceiling, I'm just starting bad habits. I'm just dropping. Like it's like at some point, there's no point in doing certain things in there because it just doesn't work.
Right.
But it
Yeah.
works out in the end.
Man,
Hello.
but yeah, but I gave you a little warning, so we're gonna come back to you in a second.
Okay.
Hopefully, you got your
I'm,
question.
I'm trying to think and still talk. I'm
Yep,
trying.
yep. So Dawson, I think's got one more question, and then as you answer that question, and then think about your questions to us, we'll kind of segue, and then we'll wrap it
Hmm.
up. So, just a warning, just a fair warning.
Yes. It's a bit of a deeper question. So
Perfect.
yes. So what do you wouldn't long term when it's all said and done, like what do you want to be able to accomplish long term? What do you want to be known for?
Well, like talking about the like accomplishing stuff, like I had a lot of big wins in juniors. I want to try to get those wins in a harder division with higher stakes. So that's kind of like a long-term like goal, I'd say. But what I want to be more known for would be one of the top female athletes in the sport, but I also want to be known in teaching and inspiring young kids. So it's like two
Mhm.
sides of that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love that. I think you're already one of the top female athletes in the sport. I
Mhm.
think we're there.
Well, let's
Yeah.
try to stay
Hey,
that way.
Yeah.
I see you.
Um,
But yeah, no, I think that's so cool because you're talking about you're starting to do some more teaching and things like that. And if that's another way that you want to be kind of seen and known for and make that positive impact on other people too. What you're doing right now is doing it. Being on these big stages and just the way you handle yourself and carry yourself at events, and then being able to start training the younger generation as well, whether it be just in the karate school or kids who are out there competing. So it seems like you're well on your way to accomplishing what you want to accomplish. So
mm,
that's exciting. Very cool.
yeah.
All right. You need more time, or you think you got something for us?
Let's see. Okay, I have one kind of combined for
Okay.
both of y'all. I'll kind of see how it's different. So, like, I know that y'all do sync and y'all visit each other and y'all are also like best friends. How do y'all manage that and still be like number one in competitors?
Dude, we
Right
are
here.
tapped in.
Okay. Okay.
I think
Well,
it's
I get
really
a little more than
yeah,
that.
it's definitely I think it really started from doing demo together when
Yeah.
we were on Competitive Edge. I think that really is what started it for us. And then being best friends, that chemistry um that chemistry helped a lot as well.
Yeah.
Um, and then martial arts wise, and for how we think about, well, whatever we come up with, we'll just start there. Like the creative process on how both of us make stuff. We could either be together or separate, doesn't matter. We've done it both ways. So let's say I start coming up with like, if we start coming up with a combo, and I can come up with like the first couple moves. And let's say if I get stuck for a couple of seconds too long, Ben could easily just like pitch in and be like, we could go this way. Said, oh, I didn't even think about that. So, oh, that's perfect. So that, and then we discuss on like the timing and the pacing and then the yelling, the calls, who's doing the calls, when are we doing it to the music, what kind of music are we doing it to. So like being on the same page of little details like that helps go a long way. Um, so yeah,
Because for a
that's
lot
my
of
take.
people, it's hard to keep that friendship in the ring.
Hmm.
Like, there's a
Mhm.
lot of drama that goes on. So, like, I think it's really cool to see, like, not with just y'all, with the other JPM boys as well, but I think it's really cool to see that friendship and how, like, you know, when it's showtime, like, when you know when it's time to perform, but then you also, like, love and respect each other. So, I think that's really cool to see.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I heard like a quote or something recently. I don't know exact. I think I've got it wrong, but in my head it still makes sense. It's like let me make sure I say it right. I got to get it in my head first before I put it out. Okay. It's like take it seriously but don't make it too serious. You know? And so it's like we definitely take what we do seriously. Like we want to be top competitors. We're sponsored competitors, so we want to make sure we uphold the standard of our sponsors and our team and the legacy of the team. But at the same time, it's like it's a tournament, and in the grand scheme of eternity, it doesn't hold the most value, right? And so we've talked about this a ton with the team, with past members like the team alumni. We just had Pedro Xavier on the podcast as well. It's like a lot of times people look back on their careers or on their time in the sport, and they don't think about their wins, they don't think about their losses, they think about the memories that are made with the people that they were with. And so
Mhm.
we've really just, I'm glad we've noticed this while we're still in it, is like how important that is, because I don't want to like get done competing and look back and be like, man, I wish we would have paid attention to just how our relationship was as people. I'm glad we
Mhm.
can see it now while we're in it, while we can actually do something about it, so that then when we do look back on it, we can look back on it with very fond memories and just really joy for the time that we've had together. And so I think because we've had that perspective shared with us and we're in the middle of it, that has helped so much. On the
Yes.
practical side with like competition and things like that, like he said, it's just being on the same page. Like we communicate on everything. I was just actually in a lesson like yesterday talking to two brothers who do sync, which makes it even harder to do sync when you're actually related to them. But it was like just over communicate on everything. Like you can't be on the same page enough, right? Even if it's something that doesn't seem like you need to communicate about it. Like sometimes I'll probably annoy Dawson with some of the questions about our sync because it seems so obvious, but we just want to make sure so that there's no second guessing between the two of us. So like the communication is so super, super important. Um, but yeah, I think like we're just kind of on the same wavelength too because we've known each other for so long. And like you said, doing demo years ago, we were already kind of feeling it out, being on the same page and things like that. And so there's just that connection is just there. I mean, just outside of the ring, like we say the same things, we'll do the same, moves and gestures and stuff without even thinking about it. So we're just like tapped in, as the kids say. I think tapped in, locked
Well,
in.
there's like pictures that came out, and y'all are like doing a cartwheel, but y'all are like perfectly in sync or something. And
Mhm.
like that is so cool. I feel like that is so hard to be in sync, but also to capture it on camera was really
Mhm.
cool. I was like, oh my gosh, they are like perfectly in sync. They are tapped in.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
They're tapped in.
Tapped
the
in.
craziest thing about it, like I don't think about like trying to be in sync with him. Like we just run the form and it's in sync. Like I feel like we've trained it and we've made the form, kind of tailored it to it being in sync for us. Like it just makes sense the way we've designed the form. Like it just works.
Goes back to the what I said, the beats of like the pacing. If
Yeah.
like knowing the rhythm of the form and the tricking, all the above. And I mean, yeah, I mean, Joe and Colin are the same thing goes with them. I'm sure they train. Yeah, exactly. Their Usher song is really good, by the way. I love that song.
Oh, I
But they do it too. It's great.
Definitely gets the crowd. Definitely.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
By the way,
Uh,
Colin and Joe came out with like a brand new form in Quebec. That was sick.
I I I loved it. I thought they really did good.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Um, they're just speed demons, man.
Yeah.
Once they take off, it's
Yeah.
like whoa. They're
Yeah.
just
That's
I
a
mean
good
it's a
one. It's really good to watch like both
yeah
of them head to head, both teams, because it's like
yeah yeah completely different styles, and it's a good thing too. It just makes it harder for the judges to judge.
Yeah.
It's a good thing, and
that's cool.
it's more entertaining, right? But lost my train of thought. I was talking about something. I got distracted.
The beats, the synchronicity, the hits, all the stuff like that.
Oh, yes, that's right. What the questions? Yeah, like for example, I've asked Ben, he's asked me of like when we're walking through it, we're like, wait, we bow here, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, we bow here. Like I've asked him that, he's asked me that. I was
Yeah.
like, no, I was like, dude, we don't bow here or whatever, something like that. It's like, well, I may have like I think I may have like messed the intro up on accident at Quebec when we were walking through it, of course. We were walking through it, which is, walkthroughs are obviously a good thing. But I like messed up on like the timing of it. Ben didn't have to say anything. He just stopped and just looked at me. And like that was enough for me to be like, "Ah, dang it, Dawson. All right, get your act together. Come on, tap in." And so but yeah.
Yeah. I do have
So
one more question.
Oh,
yeah.
What is y'all's most proud accomplishment?
individually.
Yeah. Or together, or both.
Shout out. Hey, we got the squad in here. I'm thinking.
Mm.
Oh man,
It's hard for me to pick one because I have several.
it's weird because like I had a high, I don't know if it's the right way to say it, but like a very high sense of pride in Quebec, and none of it was for me. Like I had three different students on stage that I've trained in the past in some capacity, and
Yeah.
all three, a couple of them, it was like their first time winning runoffs, and all three of the ones who were on stage won their grand. And then like I was also on stage, I also won a grand too. And so I have a picture with the four of us before the event, and I was like, man, these kids are gonna kill it tonight. And then I have a picture of us after the event, and we all have an overall grand trophy. And I was like,
That's awesome.
that's fire, dude. Because it's like, I was able to maintain my level of competition where I was still able to win. And then I had three students who are, on the come up, and two of them are really, really young. The other one being Nolan, he won double grand, so he just went on stage and just ran a form. He had already won it, and so I was like, dude, that's so cool because like we were talking about earlier, it shows that the impact that we're trying to leave on the younger generation is paying off. And so like that one was really special for me, and that was just last weekend. More of like a personal one would be diamonds. I mean, to just experience that moment. The win itself is awesome, and like to have a diamond ring is pretty cool. But to be able to experience,
Can never hurt.
yeah, I mean, why not? But to go through that moment with the guys, I mean, those are the things that like really bring us together more and more. Is like just those moments of not taking it too seriously, and like for them to lose that division and be like stoked doesn't make sense. But because of the bond that we have, they lost a big award and I won a big award and they were stoked for me. And like
Hmm.
those are the things that have, made the biggest impact on me personally. Um, and I think those are the things that are going to last more too. Like I'll probably try to keep that diamond ring as long as I can, but I don't think I could forget the memories that were made. So
Hmm.
that's me.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's like I said, I can't really just name one because I've had.
That
I
was my
think
goal. No, I wanted to ask something deep to throw something
mhm,
hard up there for you.
yeah, I'd say
But thank you.
yeah, the I mentioned it earlier, which by the way, I've never really shared that. I've always kind of kept that close to myself. I mean, my parents really knew that was really it. But um the Paul Mitchell experience.
Mm.
One of the kids there, like with his family being there, after he took his first place and just, came up to me afterward, like while I was this like done, just exhausted, ready to rest and recover, eat. And they just came up to me and I was like, that just felt like a win right there. I didn't even so yeah, that um in terms of winning, yeah, I've had a winning just I mean for this year winning my first Warrior Cup, that was a pretty special one just because of how hard I trained for years and falling up short, and then this time I just had a different energy and I had a feeling of it doesn't matter if I lose or win at the end of the day. I just know that in here I can't lose. So
Mm.
and competing up there with Reed too was probably one of the coolest things for me. Just like a full circle moment, just growing up watching him and all the other guys, and I've talked about it all the time. It's like, man, you guys have really inspired and moved a lot of people. And the fact that you're just up here still killing it, and just like having me like, oh, great, I gotta compete against Reed Presley now. It's like it was crazy. It like training all together too. And then, before our division and the night show, we're just talking like, man, we were just talking about it weeks prior of how cool would it be with all of us if we were up there together in the Warrior Cup round, and then here we are now doing it. And yeah,
There
so
you go.
yeah, Warrior Cup win, and then winning a diamond ring, that was pretty special for me too, just because of again, like how hard I trained for years falling up short, and then training hard to just I look back and like we've said it so many times of like the winning and the losing doesn't matter, but the stuff that being able to inspire, and then I look at like I reflect back on how I trained before winning. It's like there was a lot of times where I showed up to the school just not wanting to be there. It's like I could be doing anything else. I could be resting at the house. I could be doing I could have done anything, but I still showed up. And there was also times where I was really in a good mood and felt awesome. Times where I was sad, frustrated, happy, all those emotions, and I still showed up. And it was yeah, and of course, like Ben said, like after winning a ring, they all hugged me after that and just being proud of each other because I mean, we all know how hard we work just to be where we're at. So um yeah, Warrior Cup and a diamond ring. I'd say those are probably the top two favorites in terms of just winning. So yeah.
Not too shabby. Just a little
Yeah.
World Cup, little diamond ring.
Hmm. And I mean, I think people were like looking at me weird afterwards of how happy I was to put it in the car and drive home with it because that was a deal I made with my mother years ago. And since we've been going to that tournament, we've always driven up there together, just me and my mom, and we made a deal. Just one day we'll put that thing in the back of the car and drive it home. So yeah, it was a cool moment. I like, after telling Emily, I was like, "Hey, can I go get it real quick and like just take it to the room?" She's like, "Well, they're about to break it apart. You better go run down there now." So I like sprinted down there and just picking it up. It was just like, oh, whoa, this is happening now. So yeah, a lot of people were like kind of weirded out of how excited I was to like I finally get to take this thing home, like put it in the car of like why are you excited about that? And so yeah, so
That's cool.
yeah.
What if we threw the same question back at you? Would you have a good answer for it? Huh?
I would say diamonds this past year because of everything I was going through and with what happened with the lights and stuff. Obviously, winning Warrior Cups, that felt good on stage. I had a lot of I was younger, so I dealt with a lot more hate, and I took it more to heart then. So that, looking back, I wish I handled that better. So I'd appreciate it more because people around me didn't feel very happy that I won because of all that stuff. So as I got older, at diamonds, even if I felt that, it didn't matter to me. And so with everything going on, I would say diamonds.
Cool. That's awesome. So cool. So cool. Man, it's cool to be in the position we're in. You're in the adult division now, and we've been, like we said, been on teammates for a decade now. It's just crazy. And so it's also so cool to see the way that all three of us have grown and the areas we've grown in. And I think it's kind of what I'd always hoped, that we would all be super close years later. And that I think it's more than I hoped to, because I think the priorities that we've kind of collected and gathered through the years have been spot on. I feel we're all on track to be in a cool spot. So it's a blessing. It's pretty cool. Any famous last words from Averi Presley before we wrap this up?
Thank you so much for having me, and I hope to be back on it soon.
Anytime, just let us know. Dawson, any last words from you? Just want to check.
Any last words? No, I do not have any last words. Not right now.
Good quotes that you've seen recently?
Any good quotes? Only good quotes I've heard from you, man. What was the one saying I heard? What was the one thing I heard you say in Quebec? Keep it so clean, it's nasty, or something like that. And I remember you said that, and I stopped what I was doing. I just turned and looked at you. I said, "What'd you say?"
Yeah.
I was like, "It's kind of a bar there. I'm gonna have to write that down, dude."
Yeah, I sent that one out. I don't know if I sent it to Nolan or Wyatt, but both of them I've trained in the past, and they were going in for the trad weapons overall, or the trad weapons runoff. And I was like, "Hey, keep it clean, but make it nasty." And then he was like, "Yes, sir." I'm like, that was tough.
Yeah, man.
Oh, speaking of Gabrielle Rudolph, undefeated weekend last weekend in Quebec. Pretty
Sweet.
legit. Sweep, bring out the broom. That's pretty great. Congratulations to her. Who knows? We might see her on the show sometime soon. I don't know.
Yeah, she was on top of it this past weekend. She looked insane. She was super strong and clean. It was great.
Yeah. Sure. Well, awesome. This has been such a pleasure. Thanks for joining us tonight, Averi. This has been great.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, anytime. And thanks everybody who's tuning in. Appreciate all the comments as well. Good reactions going. This has been a great time. Thank you to Century Martial Arts and Sport Karate Zone for hosting us. This has been another amazing episode of The Clean Truth, and we will see you next time.